This is your boy, Sir Earl, with my co-host, Chie, Figure Prodigy Louie.
Hi, everybody.
And today is Sunday, October 12th. Man, it's almost the end of the year, okay? So, went pretty quick. So, I want to invite everybody to join us for our Wednesday podcast, which will also be on on Underdogs on Top on our YouTube channel. That's where we'll be doing a series of interviews, which we normally shoot on Wednesdays. We won't do it this Wednesday, so it'll be the week after. We'll be doing our interview with hopefully Melvin Buckley, who's the owner of the building. What we're trying to do with our podcast on Wednesdays is to show people how you can utilize the workouts of being health and fit in your everyday work life. That's what we do on our Wednesdays podcast. Sunday, which is today, we'll be doing our podcast on the world of health and fitness, which we do every Sunday. So, we air this also on our YouTube channel of Underdogs on Top. We try to do a new episode every week. So we're coming to you this week with a podcast entitled Our Life. And what that is people tune in to our podcast, we know, because the number is going up. And we wanted to let people know who we are, what we do. Just not a couple of people doing a podcast on health and fitness. To tell a little bit more about us, so, you'll know who it is that you're tuning in to listen to. So, with that said, I'll start with, my name is Sir Earl, and my co-host name is Chie, Figure Prodigy Louie. And I'll start with the facts of who I am and what I've done and how I've got started in this figure industry, this fitness industry. So my name is Earl Bell, nickname Sir Earl. I've had the name all my life. And I started, I grew up in Inglewood, Chicago, which everybody knows is probably a not so good neighborhood. But I've lived in Inglewood my whole life, first on 66 in Parnell, 71st in Halstead, 57 in Elizabeth. So we've moved all over, but it's always been in the Inglewood district. And we did not move to Hazel Crest until I think I was 25, 26 years old. And that's when we decided to move to Hazel Crest, okay? And saying that, okay, my start in fitness became, I got my first job, I cannot remember the exact year, but my first job was at a small gym called Bob's Gym in Park Forest. And what I did mostly was work the retail, sign up some people, and vacuum. I did a lot of vacuum.
You're professional vacuum.
Professional vacuum. Okay, and that was my start to fitness. I knew when I walked into Bob's Gym, I just had this epiphany that that's where I should be. So I started learning from that.
Do you have a job then?
No.
So you didn't have no job?
No, I was working as a mechanic.
Okay.
Okay.
So how long you did mechanic? I
did mechanics for over 15 years. And I worked 9 to 5 at my job. I was working at Goodyear or Firestone. And I worked in the gym from 6 to midnight, vacuum.
Why you kind of made yourself go in? Was you like because you were skinny or?
Well, the thing was I was already working out at home.
Okay.
Okay, and I was going, what happened was I was going to the hardware store in Park Forest on Old Money Road, which was right in the only thing next to it on that road was a gym.
Okay.
So I was going to the hardware store. I saw the gym. I walked into the gym. I had just a different feeling. And so I asked for a job, and he said, well, we just opened, so I don't have any jobs or whatever. So I just kind of hung around vacuuming. If you're getting the repetitive nature, that's what I did a lot of. Just
so your membership was free?
Yeah, my membership was free because I kept the place clean.
Okay.
And you will never ever, and mark my words, you'll never find a person that can vacuum as good as I can vacuum. I had a lot of practice. Okay.
I should let you vacuum a whole house.
And what wound up happening was, I used to always say to myself, the first opportunity that I get that I can show him how I can make money for his club, then that would lead for him to be able to pay me. Mm-hmm. And so what happened was one day I was in there and he had to go downtown. Mm-hmm. And he had told me, he said, look, if someone comes in, do not try to sign them up, okay? Which in my mind I'm thinking, I'm signing up every goddamn body that come in here.
Right.
Okay, so I had people come in, I signed them up, took their money, they were paying for a month, which was common at that time. And so I signed up enough people that now he could afford to pay me a part-time salary, which was not a lot of money, especially compared to my regular job.
Right.
So he came back and he was like, you know, where all this money come from? And I was like, well, when you were gone, I signed up a lot of people. And so that's how I got my start. So because now he could pay me, but I was regulated to the retail shop. I had trained a few people, but mainly I sold retail, you know, which was the supplements and stuff that he had, which was horrible at the time. But I got my start doing that. Okay, and from that, I think I did that 2-3 years. And from that, I had heard that Body by Ivory was hiring. So I took the job at Body by Ivory. I left Bob's Gym, mm-hmm. And I worked for Body by Ivory. And in that, I was able to train more people. I was able to open up my own pro shop, which sold my own products, the products that I got mainly from Perillo Performance. And I think I stayed there maybe 5 years. And really that's where I got my start from, of really working and training with people. And
I don't think a lot of people know about Perillo Nutrition.
I know, because they
How did you find out?
They sent us a lot of magazines. Okay. So when I did my pro shop, I said, okay, let me start ordering supplements, and all I knew was Perillo. Mm. And I actually wound up meeting Perillo. I wound up driving down there. We stayed at his house for like 2-3 days. We was at his workout facility, and we wound up doing a photo shoot for Anthony Herc Watkins, who had just won his class at the Junior Nationals, which was in Cincinnati. So we wound up scheduling and doing a photo shoot and working out there in Cincinnati, which was great.
So somewhere you already had a business mindset.
I thought so. I thought that dealing with the fitness world, I knew what I was doing. I kind of knew what I was doing. And so, with that went great. Everything went great. And we actually did a photo shoot. We had an appearance in NPC magazine. We had a photo shoot. We were on the cover of Perillo Performance, which I got mentioned that, I was training Herc at the time. And so that's how I really started to climb that ladder, was that introduction. Right, yeah. Introduction to Perillo Performance. More people knew who I was, and, I was known, not for me, but for training people. Right. And that started spreading throughout the community and the fitness world and things like that. And with that, I
But you
wanted.
didn't do the, well, it was not strictly personal training at that time.
No, it was not personal training at all because nobody was paying for personal training.
Right.
This was like probably late 80s.
So how you started personal training?
I had heard that Charles Durr, who was at the time Mr. USA, he had opened up a one-on-one studio in downtown Chicago. And so I said, okay, that's what I need to be doing because I need to learn how this personal training stuff worked because no one else had a personal training studio.
Which is his partner was?
His partner was Cornell, who was training all the big names, the Obamas, the Farrakhan's, the things like that. So what I did when I got a job, now I used to drive my car from University Park to downtown Chicago, and it had no muffler. You could actually see the ground while you're driving because it had a big hole in the floor. And
But did you still mechanic then?
No.
So you quit.
I had quit my job as a mechanic.
So you don't really have no money.
I had no money. I was so broke. I was so
But was you happy?
I was ecstatic. I didn't think life got no better. My wife at the time wasn't happy about it because I think I went from earning, $1,500 a week to maybe $150, $200 a week, and she was not happy about it. But I knew if I could start making my way in that field, I could make a living out of it, and that's what I did. So when I left, and I had told her, I said, this is the last time I'm gonna get me a job. I'm getting into one-on-one training. She said, "You're never gonna stop.
Right.
You're always going to find something else." Because at the time I was dreaming, I was talking about owning my own place. And so when I took the job with Charles down, when I went down to Charles was like, "Man, we're not hiring," And I begged him to give me a job, and I did it the same. I did it the same way. I started vacuuming, cleaning up, hanging around, and what I did is I had a client at 6 in the morning, and I had a client at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So what I would do is that when I went to work at 6 in the morning, I would just stay there because I couldn't drive back because
it's too much.
It's too much and the car's ragged.
Yeah.
Right. So I stayed, and what I did when I stayed, I tried to learn as much as I could. So I'd run and get them coffee and things like that, but I learned so much at that time of how to price things, how you talk to gain personal training clients, and how you selling.
And a lot of times those things are not on the book.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? The experience is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like today, I've been in business a very long time, and 95% of what I use is what I learned at Eye Catchers, which was Charles' place. Because I would just sit there. I wasn't working. I didn't have clients, so I could sit and listen to what they were saying on the phone.
It's a good and bad.
Yeah. How they sold packages, and like Cornell used to tell me, you could get someone to train 5 days a week or 4 days a week, but they're not going to last long. The best thing is to train 2 days a week, upper body, lower body, and give them a cardio day where they're there and you get to meet them and see them.
Which is
what I do today.
Right.
That's the process that I use today of what I learned from Eye Catchers. And so that worked for me. And then Cornell gave me the suggestion. He said, all your clients live out south. You come way downtown, which was good because at the time there was a beauty salon next door. And so we got a lot of clients. And so I went to Quad's Gym, which at the time you only had to pay your membership. The trainers didn't have to pay.
Okay.
So I started training my clients out of Quad's Gym, which is great.
Which is Quad's is a top 5 hardcore gym in the nation.
Top 3 it
Top
was
3.
before he died.
Oh,
Before Tommy died and Davey passed.
Yeah, it's really well known.
Right. They were part of the top 3 in the world according to Muscle and Fitness magazine.
At the time.
Yeah, at the time, it was Venice Beach, Bear Francis Gym in New York, and Quads. Right. And so I really learned because I was working for myself.
Right.
So I had all the forms and sheets and insurance release form. I had everything. I learned so much about running a business by running my business out of Quad's gym.
Right.
And I think I might have stayed at Quad's for about 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner really helped me. He used to always, he told me, he said, okay, what I need you to do is when you put a business plan together, give it to me, I'll review it, and I'll tell you what I think. Well, he rejected about 10 of my business plans. He was like, no, that's too big, that's too far, that's too small. And so the last business plan that I got, 'cause I told him, I said, okay, first off, I'll do that, but you got to explain to me what the hell is a business plan.
Right.
You know, so he explained it to me, taught me how to do one, how to price one out, and things like that. And so,
because you really didn't go to business school or anything.
At all.
Pretty much what you learn is your experience, those people that actually
right.
helped you.
I didn't go to high school. Well, I dropped out of high school in my freshman year. I never went to college. Everything I learned by experience and learned by doing. And so when by the time I finished my 10th business plan, he was like, okay, that's your best bet. Go for that, which was the first ratio that I opened on the second floor in South Holland. Little bitty small place. I'm thinking I'm about to start out with this big, huge facility, and I think it might have been 1,200 square feet, maybe. If you squeeze a square foot in, maybe. But I loved it. It was mine. I just loved it.
How did you go about equipment?
Well, you know what Tom told me? He said, what are you going to do about equipment? And I said, well, I'm going to lease equipment. And he said, I would not advise you to lease the equipment. Find someone that's selling equipment and buy it. That way, if you get kicked out, you can turn people out of your garage because you'll have the equipment.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Best
yeah, it started, ground zero is where I started. And sure enough, that advice paid off because I got kicked out of many places. I think I might have had 7 places before I really hit pay dirt with ratio in Homewood now.
A lot of time, I seen it, you know what I mean, because I've been with you so long.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, audience, you are not going to believe this man makes magic. It's just, he don't have no good credit. You know, he didn't have like a really big capital to start. And I learned, so you will find a way. And he has such a passion and beliefs. So when he talks to owner, and they just feel it. And they're really fortunate that you actually met the great owners.
Right.
To kind of understand it by into even though at the end of the relationship of how it went, but in the beginning of what they gave you, the start, it was just the only belief that they believed that
yeah, everyone.
You're passionate of what you want to do.
Yep. Every location I had, the boss believed in what I was telling them.
Yeah.
You know?
So I learned, because I have, many clients that they were used to be corporate, working for the corporate, and then became their their own business, and they had a way more capital. I mean, talking about enough capital to me, from what I look at, from our situation to their situation, but it's amazing. They didn't last long, like a freaking even 2 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's the martial survival skills. A lot of time when you have capital and they just kind of spend it whatever, when you don't have it, you try to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is the most important thing is to start the business, and as you go, you add on to it.
Right.
It doesn't have to be started perfect from the get-go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was fortunate in that sense because I come from a survival mode.
Yes.
I grew up in a poor situation, so all you learn how to do was survive.
Yeah.
So if if what they wanted was credit or capital or whatever, I would flat out tell them from the get-go, I ain't got none of that.
Right.
You know, all I got is my promise that I will do the best, I will make your place, you know, great or whatever. So
on the business school, on the business book, that is not how to start. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying that, you know, school is not everything. And the certification is not everything. What they say to you, say, no, you can't do it because you ain't got this.
Right.
That is not true.
Nah.
You know
Your passion, you know, I was
determination.
I was determined to make my dream work no matter what they said.
And never give up.
Exactly.
That is we went through so much.
People
don't understand.
We've been through a lot.
But we never gave up.
Right.
Because we felt like we didn't have no plan B.
Right.
You know what I mean? We only have a plan A. We gotta make it.
Right.
And it is really, that's how it is, the energy of when you trying to make it and you put your all. Something always happens.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. That's how God works. I think that's the whole universe thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I witnessed it with what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very grateful that she wasn't smart enough to understand. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, you know. But she stuck by my side, and I really appreciate that because she believed in me when no one else did. And so far, 30 plus years into it, I'm still existing, and we've gotten better and better and better. You know, when you look at the facility that we have now, we have a fully equipped 6,000 square foot studio that's state-of-the-art, top of the line, and it's only through hard work and willpower. You know, so, you know, I really appreciate that belief.
That's the one thing I see, even the equipment, when you go, I know everybody go to the gym, you will see that's a set of a lifetime, or, you know what I mean, it's just you can tell this gym just bought all equipment at one,
right.
You know, one contract.
They had a salesperson.
Right. Yeah. But what an Earl do is almost like a me in the shoe store. You know what I mean? You like when we go to see the machine shopping, it's literally he's in Chie in the candy store, and it's just like
because when I was growing up, that's how we put stereo systems together. You would never find a stereo system that say all Alpine or all Pioneer or all this. We mixed and matched a lot, so I learned when I started, and I love gym equipment. I love gym equipment to death. And that's how I built my studio. And if you look at my studio now, it's spectacular.
It's just a lot of times people are like, I never seen this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's like an old school, and every equipment that we have a meaning and how to build or where the angle is.
And the thing about that was, that's the advice I received from Tom when the owner acquired before he passed away. Only put the best in your studio. Don't put nothing in there you yourself wouldn't work out on. And that's why, like, now I look at some trainers, they were trying to repair their equipment and using duct tape and all this shit. I put the very, very best equipment and continue to and always will. You know, put the best equipment in my gym because...
Yeah, if you're going into the gym and you will see home gym equipment, you need to get out of there.
Real quick.
That's not how it's supposed to be.
No.
Okay.
But you'll see that a lot. Because to people, $800 for a treadmill is no different from the $7,000 that I spent on treadmills. The difference is ours don't break down. Yeah.
And literally, like, so low. Well, but also at the same time, because we are not open gym, you know what I mean? We are a private facility you have been as a private gym since you started. So the equipment wear and tear is literally, 20, 30%.
Yeah, because I don't know if you remember when you started, I had 2 old Quentin treadmills that you had to start going before you jumped on them, because if you jumped on them, nobody would stop.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so we started honestly from with a little of nothing, and we built among the years. So
I mean, we have have been talking about the Racial 101, but the far as bodybuilding world, you know, you did so much and accomplished so much. And I don't think a lot of people realize, because, you know, believe it or not, Earl don't like brag about what he has done until people ask. And, you know, I was suggested before, like, all a plaque or like trophy, or even like a pictures that he took with all of that, I mean, greatest bodybuilders. But he don't want to, you know, he wanted to completely separate. I mean, my trophy has been there, so because I'm a trainer there too, so, but, you know, so a lot of time clients or people don't know about that, you know.
Yeah, you know,
matter of fact, Mr. Illinois
first. I won Mr. Illinois in 1994. You know, I've been a judge since 95 to almost 2005.
NBC judges. So that's one thing is another thing, right?
Yeah, the organization. That is the best organization in the world, and I've always competed for them. I've always put you in contests with them. I've always judged for them because they are the best. If you have one of these bullshit ass organizations that you call yourself competing in, you're missing the boat.
And you promote it.
Yeah, I promoted, which at the time, I was the only black promoter that they ever had, and I did a show for 5 years. I did it at Prairie State College.
Black promoter in Illinois.
Yeah, in Illinois, there'd never been a black promoter, and I was fortunate enough to get granted the opportunity to post a show and to host a show, and it was great. One of the greatest times in my life was all of it. From Bob's gym on, I've learned and I've grew and I've achieved things that people otherwise couldn't. And no, I don't like bragging about it, trying to take the credit for it, but I feel like it's a blessing. Yeah, I mean, I have, like, in the bodybuilding world, Sean Ray is one of my best friends. You know, I've known, you know, Vince Taylor, Melvin Anthony, Nasser Ersambadi, Lee Hank. I've met them and known them all.
And thing is, when I got into the bodybuilding, I mean, the Sean Ray was the first, actually, literally magazine that saw, one of my, got a girlfriend at the time, and it's like, you got to see this one fine bodybuilder named Sean Ray. So at the time, I was just a 3-kid mom. I didn't even really, not even in the fitness, gym at all, right? So that too, because of Earl, I met Sean Ray. Matter of fact, we went to his house and met the whole family. And you know, I didn't believe that because, you know, sometimes, yeah, I know Michael Jordan. And people say that, but you just saw him at the grocery store or something like, you know what I mean? So that's why I didn't believe at first when Earl said, oh, you know, me and Sean is a friend, like, yeah, right. You know, or even the Ronnie Coleman, Melvin Anthony, that literally that came out around the 90s, the best bodybuilders. I met them through Earl, and it's such an honor. And now after I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy really know these people. Yeah, those are really good times. But on Arnold Classic to Olympia,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
They always say the 90s was the greatest time for bodybuilding, which I believe it was, and that was my heyday. I was heavily involved in it, promoting, judging, seminars, all type of, like, I've done bodybuilding seminars with Sean Ray, Ronnie Coleman, Nasser. I've done seminars with, I was doing that before that's why they gave me a show, because I was setting up venues, selling tickets for seminars long before anybody. Matter of fact, to this day, people are not doing it.
I think at the time, you know, I don't know, even though now, you know, you talk about East Coast, West Coast, so they always have a lot of, you know, pros visiting their, you know, different shows or the guest posing. But the Midwest was always kind of slow.
Yeah.
You know, and I think even the audience itself, they don't have that lot of supportive, you know, attitude. But within that, you kind of bought it, all of the people within Midwest And I think a lot of people appreciate that, what you did.
Yeah, when I started getting involved in promoting and seminars and stuff like that, I noticed the people didn't have anything to look forward to, and I wanted to be the one to bring them something.
Yeah.
You know, so I brought out the best guest posers. I've held the best seminars. You know, and like I said, I was a judge for a very long time, which I worked every avenue of judging, from sweeping the floor, which, you know, expediting, judging. I've done it all. I worked my way up from nothing.
It's always from the bottom to the upper,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like the underdogs on top.
Underdogs on top.
Yeah.
That's where I got the name from. You know, I've worked my way up a very, very long time. I've paid the, I remember one time telling my son, he was vacuuming. I said, it's taking you too long to vacuum. He was like, how you know? Because I used to do it all the time, so I know how long it takes. And, you know, it's been great.
So what is the next step to you?
The next step to me is I want to do a personal training school. I want to do something to teach people, because right now personal training sucks. It's people that used to be gym rats trying to train people. They have no etiquette. They don't understand.
What's the true meaning of
Right.
personal
So my next stage is, well, first was before I did a school after I did the one-on-one with the podcast. And we achieved that, so now it's getting one. I really want to do a school, because I feel you can affect more people and teach them the right way from the start. So that's my next goal, is to do a school, continue to educate people through our voice on our podcast, continue to train people and make a difference in people's lives. It's more of what it is I've been doing my whole life. I enjoyed it from the beginning. I enjoy it now, and we can only get better. So that's what my next move is, just to keep improving. We have clients that love us. That we got one client, Cassandra, who she found it very odd, which I'm quite sure most people do, that her mother is old, and I think she got dementia. But she's more than welcome to come to our studio and sit in my chair that